Good evening, everyone. Tonight on Cursed Coordinates, we are headed to a lonely stretch of historic Route 66 in northwestern Arizona, a road where towns sit far apart, where the desert opens wide, and where one man says something followed him home through the dark. Not running, not hiding, just walking. This is The Shape on Route 66. The story begins in Kingman, Arizona. A man had just been released from jail and was making his way back home to Peach Springs. When he started, the sun was still up, the road was calm, the sky was clear, and for a while, nothing felt wrong. Through a mix of walking and hitchhiking, he made his way along the old highway, ride after ride, mile after mile, step after step. By the time he reached Valentine, the day was fading. The sun sat low on the horizon, and the last light stretched across the pavement. A faint moon had started to rise, not bright enough to make the road feel safe, just bright enough to outline the hills, the brush, and the long, empty road ahead. He kept walking toward home. At first, the dark did not bother him. He had walked at night before. But a few miles outside of town, the road changed. No headlights behind him, no headlights ahead, no engines, no voices, no houses close enough to reach. Just the desert, the moon, and the sound of his own footsteps. Then the feeling started. The kind of feeling that crawls up the back of your neck before you know why. He stopped and looked around. Nothing. No sound. No movement. Only darkness. So he kept walking, but the feeling stayed. A few minutes later, he stopped again. This time, he turned around slowly, and that was when he saw it. Far behind him, standing in the road, was a black silhouette. The moonlight was weak, but it was enough to show that something was there. He could not see a face. He could not see clothing. He could not tell if it was a person, an animal, or something else entirely. All he could see was a dark shape against the darker road, still, silent, watching. The man froze. He was miles from the nearest town. No cars had passed since sundown. And now something was standing behind him on an empty stretch of road. He had two choices: stay there and let fear take him, or keep moving toward home. So he turned around and started walking again. Not running, but faster than before. He told himself it was probably just someone else on the road, but when he looked back, the silhouette had moved. It was no longer standing where he first saw it. It had followed, but it had not gotten closer. The distance between them was exactly the same. The man shouted at it. He cursed at it. He demanded to know what it wanted. But the thing never answered. It never waved. It never called back. It never made a sound. It only stood there in the faint moonlight, waiting for him to move again. So he moved, and when he looked back again, the thing moved too. That was when he understood. It was not just following him, it was matching him, step for step, pace for pace. If he slowed down, it slowed down. If he moved faster, it moved faster. It never broke stride. It never made a sound. It never came closer. And somehow, that was worse. Because it did not feel like it was trying to catch him. It felt like it wanted him to know it could. Home was still too far away for the lights to be seen, but turning back meant walking toward whatever stood behind him. So he kept going. For mile after mile, the man walked through the darkness. The faint moon gave him just enough light to see the pavement, and just enough light to know the shadow was still there. Every step felt longer than the last. Every look over his shoulder showed the same shape, still following, still watching, still keeping pace. After a while, the fear changed. It was no longer the fear that the thing might catch him. It was the fear that it had already decided not to. That it was choosing to stay back, choosing to let him keep walking, choosing to make sure he knew he was not alone. Finally, the lights of Pete's Springs appeared ahead. The man pushed forward, feeling safe for the first time all night. When he reached the edge of town, he stepped into the glow and turned around one last time. The thing had stopped. It stood in the middle of the road, just outside the reach of the lights. The faint moon outlined its shape against the pavement. It did not follow him any farther. It did not disappear right away. It only watched. Then slowly, the black shape moved to the edge of the road and slipped into the brush. And it was gone. The man swears that stretch of historic Route 66 is home to something evil, something that walks the road at night, something that does not chase because it does not need to. It only follows and watches. So if you are driving that old desert road after sundown, do not stop. Do not pull over. And if your headlights catch a figure walking alone in the dark, ask yourself one thing before you slow down. Is it really a person? Or is it the shape that owns that road after dark? The shape that follows without sound? The shape that waits until you notice? The shape that chose you long before you saw it? Would you keep driving or slow down for the shape on Route 66?